So, we managed to save the world, or at least the Kingdom of Tezeru, with our timey-wimey adventure in the Fraction of Time dungeon. What does a level 3 going on 4 party take on next? Our party has time to re-gear up, and then in the tavern, someone comes up with another quest for us. This girl named Meg tells us to find and retrieve her brother, whose name escapes me. But it is all she has, and the boat her da left her, quote-unquote. Yeah, me boat for me da. Managed to show us a finger of her bro. Mentions a gang called the Hatchets are responsible for the missing finger. I think she implies it's not the first one that they sent her way. They might be the only next of kin, so maybe they'll come for her next. So that's why she's thinking she might cut and run. If this turns into us fighting the Axe Gang from Kung Fu Hustle, holy shit. This whole time I'm thinking like dun 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 dun. But yeah, she's the only next of kin, so she gets the finger to show us these guys are serious. She wants to get him back and then immediately set sail to someplace else. We're on the case, looking around for clues and whereabouts, pointing us to a fishing market. We hear a commotion and try to pincer our way in. Our paladin, who without a cloak can go over, because paladins are gonna, he'll dress like he's loaded, he'll spread his little peacock feathers, so to speak, and just, go in all touristy like. And it's like, I'll sell you this, and this, while you Ranger looks around the local catches of the day. Front door approach met with some resistance, as we clearly hear commotion numero 2 as the rest of us are sneaking around, and come to see someone on the ground bleeding with a bunch of other hooligans standing over him, while the paladin or the artificer looks around the store. Is met with a halfling holding up and showcasing this charred or past its cycle turnip, or so I thought till I looked it up. There actually exists a black turnip or black radish, but that's a niche. Easy pickings. Artificer had some gun, kind of like Fallout 3, that turns anything you can pick up into an insanely fast projectile. Tries a big tuna or swordfish, and even though it misses the target, it's fired so fast it obliterates by the time it hits the wall behind him. Still, even with that miss, these guys are no match for us. Thing is, not the person we're looking for, nor the gang we're supposed to be fighting. Turns out the halfling was showing the gang's calling card. They are one of the longest running gangs in this place, known as the Black Turnips. The guy we saved does know Meg's bro got taken to the Hatchets. He's a friend of the brother, so he tells us what he knows of this gambling house where the Hatchets are known to do their business, and guy knows a lot. So he comes with. We kind of angered a gang. He says, man, they would have just roughed me up now. With all this, I better stick with you guys. His name escapes me too. I think his name's Bob or Og or something like that. Well, I'll call him Og. He's fearful of revenge of something called the Gullet. A name we heard around our eavesdropping as well. It's this boogeyman or Krampus kind of legend to scare kids. Maybe. More eavesdropping. Turns out the guy to ask who knows things is Sado of the Hatchets. He's the head of the gambling house or bookkeeper or something of that nature. We work our way in with Og knowing a little more about the moons to pay our way in. Pay to see Sado, pay to get in the place, so on and so forth. Now it's my turn to try and get to see if Sado, I act all touristy now. Have you seen Sado? Huh? You don't know him? I thought he was the big deal. The guy you wanna come to when you want to make some serious coinage. Guy I talked to tells us, wait by the statue, we'll send someone for you. Artificer, who is a half-elf, spots an elven nobleman or someone of that nature, tries to bring in the half-elf on this artifact he once recovered from these accursed human filth. That's like, it does no good in these hands. Don't you want to see it back in elven hands where it belongs? Artificer turns him down, who then proceeds to talk down to him and leaves, maybe muttering. I don't know exactly, but Artificer's pissed. He might have muttered maybe whatever the N-bomb equivalent is for humans that elves would use. I feel like the elves would come up with one and then point and blame the dwarves on it. It's like, how dare such vulgar language? Fey folk tends to their own more often than not. Long lifespan, usually outliving most other races, usually are the biggest factor of that. But yeah, Artificer is an enemy now. An on-site kind of enemy. It's like, The Kill Bill klaxon in the background. But I corral the rest of the party to wait by the statue while that goes on. This is all simultaneous. Once in this area of gambling and not the deeper gambling house we're trying to get to, we do spot one of the turnips that ran off after we dropped his friends, so now they know we're here. They make their move as the boy they send leads us to Sado and an incoming wagon, which unfortunately kills the boy leading us there. More damn turnips. These guys are a little more prepared to fight our party, but we quickly make our way out of that mess, try to pin it on some inter-gang violence and not just a small band of well-armed party people like us that just murdered a bunch of gang members in some darkened backstreets. So without the boy, we kind of continue our way, kind of fumble around in the dark a little bit. Well, some of us have dark vision, other torches. But we do stumble across the gambling house. All the really, really illegal bad shit goes down here. The dog fighting. They're kept in like these cages. One big cage where a bear and some armored up like Wolverine monkey or lichen or something. That's their main event. So while that goes down, it's like, okay, we do our sneak in. Less eavesdropping, more sneaky sneak as Artificer puts on the helmet that notices brain patterns, and it's like, there's several people in 2 rooms. One looks to be a game of cards sitting at a table. It's like, oh, they're all sitting. It's like, That door opens, and out comes the oath that the Artificer just made. It's on-site level of enemy. Fighter tells him, focus on what we actually came here to do, what we actually got paid to do. One room tells him there's a bunch of prisoners being held. So we spring them, one of which the brother, cool. One an old man who knows something about something. One a nobleman from a house that the rumor mill is... There's this whole big, like, inner city, whatever, like, noble houses have been hiring these gangs or these factions to fight their wars for them and try to, like merchant classes and stuff like that to try and take more control of the city. Maybe this house knows more of the Turnips than the Hatchets could help us. So we free them. He's all, grant me sanctuary back to my fancy house and I will return with help to fight these bastards or whatever. He's haughty. The brother is an out-and-out prick, but we free them as Artificer lets loose a flashbang or something to that nature. So while they look to see what the hell that is, we can escape and get the prisoners out. Our ranger, being very city-minded, knows the way out and the way to quickly get out. But yeah, brother, this whole time, it's like, oh, I can make some more coin here. Come on. It's like, I want to go back in there, and it's like, with his lost fingers, like, he's still talking about, like, oh, I'm going to make it all back, baby. Coming back. So yeah, compulsive gambler and a prick. We make it to Meg's boat. Big bro, sis, kapow! Meg drops his ass, yanks bigger bro by the ear, and they make it to the boat and off Tezaru. While they set sail, something quickly squirms from out of the shadows of the pier and eats Og in one gulp. The gullet.
He does exist!
They don't stay just boogeyman and legends for long. This sucker's this weird growth frog thing with T-Rex-ish rows of teeth. Like, really, really scary shit. Frog tonguing away one of the shiny trinkets the paladin had, trying to squirm away, spits it back at the paladin for ha-has, we assume. It's like, this thing is smarter than we're taking it for. It didn't just, it ate him, but it's... We fight it to make sure at least no one else gets eaten. Some of our prisoners have already taken off elsewhere. Some of the ones that stuck with us fell into the water. Let's return this nobleman and the other prisoners we have left that didn't scatter and run to safety. Or the gullet or whatever. Yeah, we fight it to kind of a standstill. It eventually backs off for some reason. Yeah, just squirms back in the shadows. I was like, we didn't actually get to finish him off. Unfortunately, as we make our escape, Sato and some of the Hatchets have gotten to us on the way through more back streets, and another initiative ensues. So I think it was like 2-3 fights before we even get like a good rest. Sato, I made a thing where like talking to the guy, it's like, oh, he might be my fellow countryman, blah, 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 and so on and so forth to try and schmaltz my way in there. I don't know about that, but he is indeed a fellow monk. Using that flurry of blows, like I mentioned, even going so far as to have a move that can paralyze or stun for a turn. It's called Stunning Strike, and I think I get that next level. So this guy was at least level 5. Now, I reached 4. I think after this fight I reached 4. Or maybe during, I forget. I get my first of a few ability score improvements. 2 points to up your stats. So I upped my dexterity to 18, making me much better at hitting and not getting hit overall. And slow fall, to reduce falling damage I would take equal to 5 times my monk level. But yeah, Sato's a tough bastard. He's got another big heavy on there. These guys were tougher than the Gullet. The Gullet just they'll just eat him and kind of mess with us a little bit maybe. Before anyone asks, deflect missiles only works when you get attacked by a ranged weapon? Because I was like, a bowman or two on the roofs offs the old man and nobleman. I'm like, oh no, I couldn't do anything about that? No, it's only when a ranged attack coming at you. Like maybe if I was in front or whatever, but no, the angle, they were like high on the roofs. I don't know if I could have done anything. So much for that side quest / backup. Yeah, we got more trouble against these Hatchets than the 2 times the Turnips attacked us. We did get paid at the boat by Meg about 100 some gold each for us while we tried to discreetly bring the nobleman's dead person back to his home without being detected after we win that fight. Ooh. He did paralyze one of us for a turn. I think we only get like a move or an action or something like that, or have to take like an action to like unparalyze or something. I forget how that works. Somebody got it bad. I was like, oh shit, we need to kill this guy now. He's gonna start burning more key points and doing who knows what else. So yeah, 100 gold each. Or there's like 150 gold each, I think, yeah. So I was like, oh man, I can re-up on whatchamacallits and then buy some healing potions. That's all I can do for the monk. I'm like, not gonna be needing any more weapons. Bring the nobleman's dead person back to his home without being detected. Made enough enemies already to warrant local militia's attention to us as well. We can't leave him to die in the streets. I forget how this comes about. I think the paladin is just like, he's a friend of the house. He's a noble, not the house I'm from, but I would be very much against just leaving him to die in the middle of an alley or whatever. So we should take him with us and just everybody else. I think that's how that goes down. But yeah, before we can decide, like, how are we going to get him to the house without alerting anybody or causing suspicion? Like, just, how do you drop off like a dead person at somebody's place? But before we can knock at our door before we do this, the halfling returns with a white turnip of surrender? Or cooperation? What could all this mean? Find out not next week, because I don't think we finished that campaign just yet. We did something for a while, and something else came up. Somebody else did a DM. So I got something else for episode 10. My first foray into Pathfinder in a circus setting for next week's Tales of Roleplay.